It's often overlooked and is, especially in sort of the hobbyist video market, it's very often overlooked. And it shouldn't be, because it's a massively important piece of filmmaking. What's happening, guys? In this video, we're going to talk about something that's all around us. We see it every single day. We watch it in every single film that we watch. It's part of every film we make, or every video we make, and it's massively important. And there are so many things that you can do with it that it's often overlooked and is, especially in sort of the hobbyist video market, it's very often overlooked. And it shouldn't be, because it's a massively important piece of filmmaking. And that thing that we're looking at today is practical lighting. And we're looking at a specific light today that is, it performs the practical light effect, and that is the Aputure B7. It is a practical light with an E27 fitting, which is for those of you that don't know the E fitting standards, it's the fat screw fitting. And it's basically a bulb that you put into a light fitting, and then it can be altered and changed, as with all Aputure lights, through their SiderSlink app or via the light itself, to accommodate an in-scene light. So a practical light is basically what you're looking at now. You've got the two sources of light in this video. So for the first light, we've got the main light, the key light here, which is basically lighting me up and making me visible to you guys. Then offside here, up at the top, we've got a supplementary light, which is firing some light down, some white light down onto my shoulder here. And above me, we've got a light which is showing you this hair light, which is basically giving you this blue sort of turquoisey sort of look. Now, practical lights are the ones you can actually see in scene. So a practical light would be this sign which says eat, sleep, repeat on it, and then this blue light here, which is lighting up this old Canon FT film camera. Now they're practical lights, so they're lights you can actually see in camera, and they form part of the scene. They form part of the look of the scene itself. Now, practical lights, with practical lights, it's massively important that they are a set to a video standard. So they're what we could call flicker free. So this light here is flicker free, so is this one. You don't have to worry about what settings you've got on your camera. You don't have to worry about how it performs on camera. It's going to perform how it should perform. So when we talk more about the Aputure B7, what we're looking at is something that has a colour temperature of 2000 to 10,000 Kelvin, and it's 95% CRI. So that means it's 95 plus CRI, which basically means that it is accurate to over 95%. So the colour that you put in there is outputted to over 95% accurate, which in film terms means essentially what you see is what light's going to be coming out of it. So you pick a colour, and that's what light it's going to emit. Now, it is 85% tungsten, so a tungsten value of 85, and it's 570 lumens. So it's quite a bright light, and it's one of those things where you don't really need it as bright as you think you need it. It's massively bright in terms of how you can use this, because it can be used outside of a fixture, a light fixture, as a bulb on its own. So you could hang a series of these up, so to speak, and then effectively make them a practical light as a string of bulbs almost. So what else is there about this light that is quite interesting? Well, it's an aluminium construction. It's passively cooled, which means that there's no fan inside, so it's just airflow around it, so it's vented all the way around to allow air to escape from it. It has buttons on the side to be able to control it from the actual bulb itself, so you don't need any further other items if you know they're not necessary in order to make this light work. It is Sidus Link compatible, which basically means that you can use the app to change the colour, change the settings, etc, etc. It will do all the same things that an Aputure MC or any of the other effects that the Aputure lights will do, such as the cop car one, TV, fire, fireworks, paparazzi, so on and so forth. It can also do custom effects, as with the Sidus Link now lets you alter and sort your own effects out as well, so it will let you do that. It reacts the same in terms of the colour management, so you can use the Sidus Link app to change the colour on it and do whatever else you need to do. And it will operate in temperatures from anywhere like -10 to about 40 degrees centigrade. So -10 degrees C to plus 40 degrees C is its sort of standard operating gamut. It takes about 2 hours to charge it, and it is charged via plug it into a light fitting. So you just stick it in a light fitting, turn the light off, and then switch the light actually on at the socket, and then it will charge directly from that. It doesn't need a light fitting or power source to work, because this light has a battery inside it anyway, as we say. Otherwise, what's the point in being able to charge it? So you can use this in a situation where you don't have power. So you've got a lamp but no power, you can just plug the light, stick it into the lamp, and the lamp is essentially just a holder for the bulb. Or you can lay it on something, sit it on something, or you can just have it freestanding. And effectively, that is basically what it does. It is a managed practical light for your scenes. So in essence, what it does is it adds that little bit of emotion and that little bit of atmosphere into the videos that you're using. So it's got a lithium ion battery in it, which is, I think it's like 1000 mAh, 1300 mAh, something like that. It's 7.4 volts. So it's a standard heavyweight battery for this, and I think you can get about 6 hours worth of light out of it on a single charge. I'm pretty certain it's about 6 hours worth of light or thereabouts on a single charge before it needs recharging. Of course, if you've got it plugged in and you've got a power source plugged in, it will power on for as long as you want. So if you've got actual power to that fixture and then you've got this plugged into the fixture, it will power on for as long as you want. So what do I actually think of the Aputure B7? It's incredibly good. It's bigger than I thought it was going to, slightly bigger than I thought it was going to. It's about the same size, I would say. If we're actually comparing it to something, I would say it's about the same size as a sort of old school energy saving light bulb. Helpfully, they have printed instructions on the side of the light itself to tell you what the corresponding buttons do. Alternatively, as I say, you can use the Aputure Sidus Link app, which gives you an absolutely massive plethora of different things you can do with the light itself, and you can also link this obviously to other lights. So for instance, if you've got 4 or 5 of these and you've got 7 or 8 of these, you can get them all to be the same colour, get them all to do the same effect, and so on and so forth, or whatever. So let's have a quick look downstairs at a scene that I just shot with this in use, just so that you can see exactly what kind of effect it gives to a scene. So as you can see, it sort of adds that little bit of atmosphere into the scene. It just makes the scene look a little bit less like it's lit from outside and it's more lit from inside and inside the scene. So it makes the scene look a little bit more natural. To add, just to update on what I said previously about use times, on full brightness, 100%, Aputure are telling us you get about 70 minutes or more of runtime. On minimum brightness, you get in about 20 hours. So when you're using the light, obviously, I mean, you're never going to be using it at 100% brightness, or very rarely you're going to use it at 100% brightness. So roughly around the sort of brightness you should be using it at for an average bulb, you will be looking at around about 5 or 6 hours worth of usage hours, or thereabouts. But your mileage may vary depending on what you're actually doing. So from my take, it's an amazing piece of kit. I'm really excited to start using it and start using these things in the scenes that I shoot, just to add that little bit of atmosphere. And I think it's just a great addition to the filmmaker's bag. Something that's so small that I mean, you can throw this in your bag. It does come as well with a little handy cloth pouch that you can just slip the bulb into, like so, when I can get it in without switching it on, and over the light switches like this, boop, off it goes in there, and then you've got it in a little drawstring bag, and that just chucks in your camera bag, and you've got yourself a practical light, at least one, or however many you buy. You've got practical lights in your bag, and they're there for you to use to just liven up your scene a little bit more than just, say, if it's a corporate shoot, it's more than just a head and shoulders shot. There's a little bit of something going off, and it looks a little bit more homely, so to speak. So with that, I hope you did find this useful. It's a very, very quick review. We'll come back to it in a few months' time once we've been using it a bit more, and we've got some experience with this practical light, or we've got some other things to show. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.